Thank you, Satya. Well, a little background of mine. I've always been on the other side of the table till date. So I've spent around 15 years in education. Manoj being one of the team leaders in NIT. But for last few years, I'm working in K-12. Worked with companies like Hughes, iDiscover. And my interest grew in private equity because I got two of these companies funded first, and I learned how this whole thing works. And slowly and gradually, I thought that let me just change over and come to this side of the table. So always been on the operations of building companies. Now I'm going to sell this idea of how to build companies to people who invest, and we are just done with our first close on Indus Balaji. I think this is the second education fund in the country. So first, if I'm not wrong, was Kaizen, which got launched 4 or 5 years back. I met Sandeep before joining here. I was really inspired by the way he worked in the education fund. And the reason to join a fund is because I run a school for underprivileged for last 7 years now, and I fund it myself. So when I thought about raising some money for that school, I just heard no across the country. Nobody was interested to do that. And then I thought, why people are so much scared of investing in school? It's such a great cause, but usually cause is secondary if it is not making money. I decided to open the second school as a family. We're studying a commercial school in Gurgaon, and for that we have a lot of people who approached us that, okay, we will be, like Seema was saying, including DLF approach that, oh, we'll be very happy to associate if you want to associate with us. But we're doing it. So that's my personal background, worked in education, running schools, done some bit of collection of money by selling ideas as a private equity fund. So what is this fund all about? There are 5 of us, and 5 of us come from a background of different sides of education. So somebody from vocational, somebody from supplementary, somebody who's R&D. And we understand the whole diaspora of education across all sectors, which is formal, non-formal, you take it, supplementary, vocational, employability. We understand this whole stuff. So we are launching a 300 crore fund approximately. We have done 5 investments. And when we look at investments, we look at investments where our first priority is that a team or individual? So after spending 15 years in education, realized that most of the so-called profitable companies are individuals. So you take out top 10 companies in India today, and they're individuals who run it. And if that individual is not there, then the chance of success and failure of the company is 100% yes and no. Now, no private equity can fund individuals, because individuals are there today, are not there tomorrow. So the first philosophy is that companies are set for life. Companies are not set for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. Private equity can come and go. We are investors. We'll be there to help you go above the problem phase, scale phase. But we are not lifetime, but companies are lifetime. So the first thing is, who is the team? If it is individual, not very important. So it is like PPP. The second P is all about product. There are a lot of Me Too's. There's no harm to be Me Too, but can you be an innovative Me Too? Just to tell you, one of the investments which we have done, which actually Vikram and me were talking, is called Second School. Now, Second School is a very old age concept of tuition. Tuitions are, for last 50, 60 years, tuitions are there in the country. But nobody thought of, making it a structured concept of tuitioning. So we had a great product, a great guy who started the concept. We thought, why not we go ahead and invest? And in that area, As of now, we have only one competition. It's doing fairly well. Parents get to see how the children are doing. Now, because I'm a little bit of academic side as well, just to tell you that, okay, what is the difference? The philosophy of learning says that, okay, if a child is going through a learning phase, there's a learning style. So you do a set of, particularly early age up to class 6, 7, you do certain things, they will generate experience, those experiences are captured as observation, and finally you create an analysis to learn. That's how our mind works most of the time. But in a school where you go, there are 40 children, the teacher doesn't have so much of time, so she goes through a very rote mechanism of learning. The parent thinks that, oh, the child has not learned, he's not doing well, let me put him into a tuition. So either he's a home tutor or a tuition class where 30, 40 children are studying, or 10, 12, 30. If the process of learning is not different, the child will still not understand the concept of shapes. So what is the difference? The child is doing the same thing twice in a day, but he will never understand. So what is the innovation here is that, is the process of learning different? Yes, the process of learning is different from the home tutor to the big time tutor classes, and there's an opportunity for us to innovate the product. So that was the second important factor for us. And the third important factor is process. When I say process, most of the small companies, when they are 2 to 5 crores kind of size, they still struggle to hire best people. Because the cost of manpower in this country is growing like hell. Sorry to say, but we might be one of the costliest country in the world as far as cost of manpower is. And so you will see some huge amount of rectifications. I was with one of these guys, Lafarge Cement is one of the big guys in France. I was with the CEO of that company. He says, I don't understand this concept of 15 to 20% annual salary growth. Europe grows at 2%, including the multi-billionaires. They grow at 2%. The employees say that, oh, 1.5% to 2% is a good salary growth. And because for last 5 years, the country was growing at a pace of 7-8%, there's a huge amount of, peer pressure also that, oh, I'm growing at a 10% is a bad number, 15 to 20% is a good number, 50% people say. But soon we will see huge amount of rectification because entrepreneurs are struggling to hire good manpower at a right price, and we can't change the situation overnight. So we said, okay, so bring process over the people and product and say that we created an umbrella. So all the companies whom we fund, we have an umbrella structure of process. So there's a common HR, common marketing, common finance. Now, if there's a common marketing, for 5 companies, when I do media buying, I get huge discounts from HT or Times of India or anybody else. So that process of creating the whole umbrella around companies to give them a scalability so that you can't afford a very high-end marketing head, you will be not able to get a high-end CFO. Can I help you to get a high-end CFO and you manage in the meantime till you grow to a certain class and scale, you can manage with multiple areas of this common functionalities. So I think these are the 3 top things on which we work. So you need a good team, a good product. A good product may not be a new product. One of the areas which we don't want to touch is an absolutely new thing. So if somebody says that, oh, at this point of time, I can tell you that through mobile you can actually take the whole schooling upfront, I'll be very scared to touch. Even though I have gone and sold this idea 3 years back to Nokia at one point of time. But if somebody says school in a mobile, I'll be very scared. Because I don't know, even if it's a smartphone, anything. But something which is doing good, and you take it a step further in that direction, is much more acceptable as a society. Because most of the time required for an absolutely new innovative idea, we might miss the bus in great ideas as well, but imagine time required for an absolutely innovative idea to catch the real scale, I don't think the PEs will have that kind of a patience and sustainability. Just to tell you, in 2002, in Hughes, we had a platform called Fusion, which is largely on online transaction. We could sustain beyond 2005, and somewhere 2008, 2009, BillDesk and came. They could sustain because the market matured by then, and Book My Show or all such back-end e-commerce you see, BillDesk is one of the topmost today. So I think there are a lot of ideas which come. If they are before time, I think most of the PEs will like not to touch it, time being, at least we as a PE will not like to touch it. But if the idea is sustainable at a given point of time in this day, I think that makes a lot of sense for us. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ujjwal. Quick question for you on the kind of ticket size for investments that you're looking at. What sort of investments, what size investments are you considering out of your fund?
So we do two kinds of investments. One, we do absolute incubation also. So one of the companies we have recently set up is called the Curriculum Company, which is largely absolute incubation from ground, company formation to everything. It's a purely investment on a team. So a 6 people team came to us, they said we are a team, they like to invest on us, we are investing on them. The second kind of investment size is between 5 to 7-8 crores, because we have just done the first round of closing. Once we do the final closing, we might just look at little bigger ticket size, 1 or 2 investments, but our philosophy will be that we will be doing around 10 odd companies in this fund, and sustaining it over 4 to 5 years. We are not hurrying anybody to say, come to break even tomorrow, come to break even day after. You take 3 years to break even, we are fine, we are supporting you on a business plan. But we want to see that how much of room is after the company breaks even. So just to give an idea that a company might take 25 crores of total investment over 3 years to reach to a break even. So 4th year break even. But is there business potential of 500 crores in that area? Then it makes a lot of sense for PE. That yes, then I can, and just to, another side of it is that today there are not enough companies at a size of 20 to 30 crores available for full buyout. So either they are run by entrepreneurs, individual entrepreneurs, they don't want to sell their companies because there's a lot of passion involved into that. So they like to sell 10% or 15% of their companies. They don't want to. And PEs are not very keen anymore on 5% and 10% stakes. The third aspect to it is India at a point of time is very volatile. Last year, if you look at all the investments done, the ratio is 7.2x. So if a company is doing 100 crores, the valuation is 720 crores. Worldwide market is between, if a 100 crore company is 2.5 to 3 maximum. So you're going to go and buy a company in US, maximum 2.5 times you'll have to pay of the revenue. So at this point of time, people are also seeing an opportunity. They ask exorbitant amounts. People see an opportunity, they invest. But PEs will start maturing in next 3 years' time in India. It will not be a very happy situation then. It's very important that we look at 7.2x kind of companies will have to grow at a ratio of 150% year on year for next 5 years to PE to take back 24%. Can you imagine what kind of pressure that means? 150% year on year growth for 5 years. You have to grow for the private equity which has invested 100 crores in your company to get 24% year on year interest. So at the end of 5 years, they can get 200 crores. And if you don't get 200 crores, then the investor community is not happy because there's a commitment by the bank that, oh, we will pay you so much of money back. So the situation will not remain the same for long because we'll come back to a little bit of stability. It will again become 2.3 to 3. 3 times is a good enough ratio across the world.